So for about the last 30 days, I've been using a mustache wax that is definitely different than most of the other waxes that I've been using. Today we're going to take a look at Bossman Mud Training Wax. This wax comes in a 0.75 ounce glass container with a plastic screw-off lid. The scent that they sent me is called Stagecoach, and it's a sweet tobacco, bourbon, and leather scent. There's a little hint of leather in there, however, mostly what I smell is the bourbon and sweet tobacco. This wax has a off-white color to it. Now what sets this wax apart from most other waxes that I review is the fact that it is actually water-based. That means that it doesn't have a lot of beeswax in it. Now beeswax is definitely in the ingredients, however, there's not much of it. Now I noticed that because it is water-based, it definitely washes out of the stash pretty easily. It doesn't have a waxy texture to it. It's actually more of a cream texture. Now the directions say to take a little bit on your finger and to start from the inside and work your way out. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put the ingredients list up on the screen for you because honestly I can't pronounce most of them anyway. And most of them tend to be things like sterile alcohols from vegetables. There's some coconut and glycerin mix in there, and a few skin conditioners and things like that. Things that you see in just about everything. However, I did want to point out that there is Polysorbate 80, and when I was doing my research on what exactly this stuff was, that one kind of threw up a red flag from a couple of different companies. However, I'm not too worried about it, and it is basically made out of sugars and a natural fat. And what it does is it gives a creamy look and blend and kind of bonds all the ingredients together. As you may have seen, I did not need anything like a blow dryer or anything to warm up the wax to be able to put it in my stash. However, I do have a couple of tips for you. Even though that it's easy to apply directly to stash, what you're definitely going to want to do is get enough that it almost seems like it's too much, but with the nice creamy texture that this has, it's not as much as you may think that it is. So what you want to do is you want to start out from the inside and work your way out to the tips. Once you do that, take your comb, your brush, whatever, and comb it every which way, just to really get it blended in and get it wrapped around each one of those hairs really good. And then once you've got your mustache the way that you want it to, if you want to really make those tips nice, prim, and proper, you can go ahead, take a little bit more of the training wax on your fingers, kind of rub it around a little bit. Don't do a lot though. And then you can just kind of get a really nice pointy tips on your mustache. So what happens if you don't quite get enough wax on your fingers when you're applying it and you leave the house? It's going to dry out and you're going to end up with more of a natural looking mustache. Now even though you need to apply it once, you're probably going to need to mess with your stash throughout the day just to get it back to where you wanted it to. And honestly, that's kind of a part of training the stash anyway. Like I said at the beginning of this review, this is definitely a different wax, and I like that he's coming from the whole wax and training wax from a completely different angle. I would like to see him put together a stiff version of this just to see what he would come up with and to see how well it would hold. I'd like to thank Bossman for contacting me and sending me out this to review for him. It was definitely a pleasure, and I really did like trying something completely new. If you want to pick up yourself some Bossman mud, hit that Amazon link below. It does give me a little bit of kickback and it greatly helps me out. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment on what products you want to see me review next. And until next time, you have a good one.